There are 5 episodes left in Cobra Kai before the series comes to an end. Part 3 is supposed to drop in the middle of February, and they said so at the end of Part 2 of Season 6, but then they changed it to coming soon. So either the date will be changed or they weren't supposed to reveal it yet. Either way, Cobra Kai Part 2 is history, and on this video I want to give you my official prediction for how I think the major events of Part 3 are going to play out. Before I go any further, I want to let you know that this video is going to be predictions, not leaks, but there are some images that came out that are kind of leading me in this direction, which I'll talk about. Not too many, but a few that have kind of led me in this direction. And I also want to tell you that if you have not seen Part 2 yet, click off the video and go watch it, and then come back when you finish watching Part 2. You have to be totally caught up with Cobra Kai in order to understand what I'm going to say in this video, because it won't make any sense to you. So with that being said, if you've seen Part 2, you're here. Let's discuss what I think is going to happen. So the fallout from Kwan's death will obviously be a situation where the Sekai Taikai will come under fire from the media because it was publicized. There's going to be something going on with, the world and maybe like questioning the future of karate. But in reality, it was Kreese's fault. So Kreese is the one that really is going to be the one to feel this, because even though he is a war veteran, he has a soft spot for Tori, and I don't think he ever wanted Kwan to die. I think everyone, including even Terry Silver, was in complete shock at what happened at Part 2, Episode 10. So Kreese is the one that actually brought Terry Silver back out of retirement in Season 4, and he's the one that brought the knife to to Barcelona. Now, the other thing is that Johnny Lawrence saved Kreese and beat up on Terry Silver. Both of those storylines have to continue into Part 3. Also, if you go back, and I've seen Part 2 twice already, so I've been able to analyze this. If you go back and look at the Rumble, and even the whole thing of Part 2, the two captains for the Iron Dragons, Axel and Zara, haven't taken a single hit. I think Zara may have been thrown once or twice. Axel has not taken a single hit, even in the brawl. Sensei Wolf, the captain of Iron Dragons, has also not taken a hit. He's sitting there fighting off Johnny and Daniel by himself. So these three characters are being built up as being the immovable objects for our heroes to overcome. Now, I'm saying that because the obvious situation is that something has to go down in Part 3. And this has to be concluded. They were being protected, and I think it's going to lead into major events of Part 3, because I think it's going to all wrap back around. So, at some point in Part 3, I think they're going to bring back the Sekai Taikai. I think that people are going to probably, I don't know how they're going to do this, but the Sekai Taikai is, as of right now, incomplete. And could it really be completed because Kwan is gone? Kwan was the captain of Cobra Kai and was supposed to face Robbie in a rematch in the captain's, final. Well, Robbie would have to beat Axel. But that's not going to happen. So I think they're going to determine that the Sekai Taikai must finish with the semifinal and final fights. Now, I think there's a possibility that both Sam and Daniel are going to be the most rattled by the death of Kwan, and there's a chance they're going to quit the tournament. Now, I'm not 100% sure it's going to happen quite like that, but Sam is a very emotional character. I mean, we see it with how she behaves around Miguel, Tori, and, of course, Axel in Season 6, Part 2. I'm not entirely sure if she's going to quit or if she's going to think about quitting, but I think what's going to end up happening is that they're going to redo the Sekai Taikai, the semifinals and the finals. They're going to do them at the All Valley Arena. And I know this because there's been images that have leaked of shots at the All Valley Arena with Sekai Taikai logos everywhere. There was an image that came out with this, and I think a lot of people thought it was going to be like a dream sequence, right? Or like a flash forward at the end of the series. I don't think that anymore. There's also people that thought they were fake images done to throw off the leakers. I don't think that anymore either. Here's what I think is going to happen. They're going to determine that the Sekai Taikai should end. Maybe even Terry Silver can manipulate this, that we have to crown champions. And it's going to come down to wrapping everything up at the All Valley Arena. Again, I don't know how they're going to do this, but I think they're going to do it. And I think what's going to end up happening is Robbie's going to face Axel and finish their fight. And you can actually see a little tiny bit of this if you look at the Beyond the Dojo documentary on Netflix. It's about 11 minutes or 15 minutes. I forget. It's not very long. But in that documentary, you actually see a shot of Robbie kicking Axel and connecting with him. And that is not at the Sekai Taikai. So I think what's going to happen is Robbie will fight Axel and he will actually land some hits. But ultimately he goes down. Doing the best he can, he goes down because Axel's a superior martial artist. I think at some point in season 6, part 3, Kreese is going to give Cobra Kai back to Johnny. At some point, they're going to have some kind of reunion. They're going to make up. It'll be a very emotional scene. Because, remember, Kreese is like a father to Johnny, too, and Tori. Kreese will give Cobra Kai back to Johnny because with Quan dead, the Korean Cobra Kai team is history. And Kreese is going to give the team back to Johnny. And then what's going to happen is because Cobra Kai already qualified, Johnny will step up as the Cobra Kai Sensei, and Miguel is going to be his captain. There's a picture that leaked months ago of Miguel with a captain's headband wearing the black and yellow Cobra Kai outfit from season 1. And the creators all said it's going to wrap all the way back to season 1. This is going to go all the way back to season 1 and even Karate Kid 1. This is how I think it's going to go down. I don't think that was a dream sequence for Miguel. I think that Johnny will make Miguel the captain because of all the hard work he did for Miyagi-Do. And he will step up against the winner of Axel and Robbie. He may have to win his fight, of course. So I think what's going to happen is Tori will either face off against Sam or defeat Sam and then face Zara in the final and probably win for the women. For the men, it's going to be Miguel representing Johnny Lawrence's Cobra Kai. See, it's all going to wrap up where Cobra Kai is going to end up being the good guy. Versus Axel representing Iron Dragons. Now, at some point, Axel will have a falling out with Sensei Wolf. Because of this, it's been teased. He's Ivan Drago. If you remember Rocky 4, Axel straight up Ivan Drago straight up turned on the Russian guy who was yelling at him when he said he fights for himself. And I think all this abuse that he's taken is going to lead to Axel turning at some point. But Miguel will be the one to beat Axel because they've already been building that up. Axel's very protective of Sam, right? And he cares about her. Obviously, he likes her because she was the one person that talked to him like a human. But at the same time, dude, she's not your girlfriend. And so they're going to have a fight, and Miguel will triumph over Axel. So Cobra Kai will win the captain's tournament part. However, there's a twist. I think the twist will be that even though Cobra Kai's captains won their single fights, the points, when you tally up all the points from Barcelona and, the Valley, are going to be tied. So it'll end in a tie. And the tiebreaker is going to have to be a battle between the senseis, which they've been building up for a very long time. And the battle between the sensei will be Johnny Lawrence from Cobra Kai versus Sensei Wolf. We've already seen this being built up for a while. Johnny can't get a hit on this guy. He's just too much for him. He's still a cage fighter, very tough guy. And I think the way it's going to go down is I think Johnny will be, well, first, Sensei Wolf will be cornered by Terry Silver, and Johnny will be cornered by Sensei John Kreese. We're going all the way back to 84. Except this time, Johnny's the Karate Kid. He is the Karate Kid. And Sensei Wolf is in the Johnny role, except more scary. I think Johnny will eventually triumph over Sensei Wolf. Cobra Kai will be redeemed. Johnny's version of Cobra Kai will reopen with of course, Stingray and everybody else, and maybe even Axel. Carmen will have the baby, and Johnny will go from Ace Degenerate to X Degenerate. That's the story arc of Johnny Lawrence, and I think John Kreese will either die or fade away. Now, we're not done. I got more to tell you. Kreese may die. Like, somebody might kill Kreese. I don't know yet, but Kreese will definitely coach Johnny. And then, like I said, he will give up Cobra Kai to him, again, going all the way back to season 1, and the story concludes there. What could happen, though, is Sensei Wolf could not take the loss well and try to hurt Johnny, in which case Daniel will step up and stop Sensei Wolf from killing Johnny, because I think Wolf will do what Quan did, lose his fucking mind. Except, unlike what happened at the end of part 2, when he couldn't stop Quan, this time not only will he make it, but he will use the Miyagi-Do technique that Chozen told him about, that we haven't seen or heard about since season 3, to actually end Wolf's life. Yes, I believe Daniel LaRusso will kill Sensei Wolf to protect Johnny. And the story here being that Daniel will accept the fact that Miyagi, when he finds out the truth, that Miyagi, the reason why the guy Miyagi fought died is because Miyagi thought he had no choice because his life was in danger or somebody else's life is in danger. And so Daniel will step up and save Johnny Lawrence's life. That story is over. Both of them become friends. Daniel will either close down Miyagi-Do or just stop training for a while until he gets a call from Sensei Han to go out to the East Coast for the Karate Kid Legacy film. And that won't happen in Cobra Kai. I think what will happen is he will retire from training and just let Johnny train everybody, because Johnny knows Miyagi-Do and Cobra Kai now, so he can teach everybody the more well-rounded martial arts. Because I do think Johnny will use Miyagi-Do defense against Sensei Wolf, because it's all got to tie together. I do think that Terry Silver's going to die. They've been teasing this going all the way back to season 4 when he first appeared, and they were talking about him going to the hospital. There was another scene of him at the hospital in season 5 on a different floor. No explanation as to why he was there. And there's several hints and clues that he might have some kind of terminal illness, because remember what he said in season 6 part 2 when he said, "If I go to hell, I'll bring them with me." I think he's going to die of some kind of disease, some kind of illness. I don't think he's going to get killed. I think Sensei Wolf will get killed by Daniel LaRusso, or at least even if he's not killed, Daniel will save Johnny. Whether or not he kills Wolf, I don't know, but he will. Like, maybe Johnny has his back turned, Wolf gets a knife just like Quan or some kind of weapon, and Johnny just goes in there, bam, 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 or sorry, Daniel goes in there, bam, 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 and saves Johnny's life. And then Carmen will have her baby. Robbie and Miguel, Johnny's 2 sons, will go off to college. Sam goes off to college. The Binary brothers go off to college. And the story ends with everybody kind of going. And Johnny reopening Cobra Kai, training Tori, training Kenny Power, training Axel, new trainee, to be his new #1 student. And there we go. That is how I think Cobra Kai will end. I could be wrong. Again, I base it off of 2 little leaks that came out of the Sekai Taikai arena in the All Valley and the Miguel headband thing. I think that makes the most sense. They're going to have to explain how Miguel's allowed to become the captain, which he actually, they did tease this also in season 6, part 2, when Terry Silver tells Kenny, hey, because of the rules of rosters, I could put you on my team if you want. So it seems like there are loopholes to where you can have people move around. So with Kwan's death, Cobra Kai is left without a second captain, without a male captain. And that's where Miguel could step in. Sam may fight Tori again, just to kind of bookend that, because they have fought, multiple times throughout this show. And they haven't really fought that much. They fought a little bit in the Sekai Taikai, but not really a full match. So we may see that with Tori win. Or we may see it to where Sam is so shook by Kwan's death, because it is a death. I mean, you cannot blame these characters for being upset at that. You just can't. Like, it's just how it is. So, I think Robbie fighting Axel and actually landing a hit on him and maybe even hurting him before he goes down is perfect, so that Miguel can study it and say, okay, Axel's not a machine. He's a man. He can be hurt. I think they protected Axel, Sensei Wolf, and Zara, Reina Valingian. I can't pronounce her last name. Valingian. They protected her, all three of them, big time in part 2, but they gotta go down. Like, they are the Jiren of this show. If you remember Dragon Ball Super, they are Jiren. They are the big wall to overcome, and the new antagonist now under Terry Silver. So that's what I think is going to happen. I think that, again, Daniel will find out that Miyagi, did murder somebody, but not without reason. It wasn't like he did it in cold blood. And we may see Julie Pierce. I hope we do see Julie Pierce. I really do. That is my prediction. Cobra Kai, Season 6, Part 3. Do you think I'm crazy? Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. And if you don't like the idea, I'm not mad about that. Let me know what you would do. Also, don't forget, make sure you think back to the series, because they've all been building to this, going all the way back to season 1. So that's kind of where I got this idea. Like, they said they're going to go all the way back to season 1 and kind of bookend the story. And season 1 ended with Miguel and Robbie, Miguel with the Cobra Kai gi. So I think it just makes sense. What do you think? Let me know.